This is a highlight of the Off Topical podcast. Listen for free to the whole episode at offtopical.net. Germany slaps Facebook. This was an interesting story. German regulators said that Facebook gave the German people an all or nothing choice to either submitting to Facebook's invasive anti-privacy practices or to not use Facebook at all. This is interesting. What do you think about this, my friend?
Well, my first part is going to be kind of unpopular, but honestly, I feel that Facebook should be allowed to do whatever they want as far as their privacy practices. Like, I don't feel a website should have to, well, they should conform to like a certain degree, but, and certainly Facebook doesn't conform to anything. They certainly do. They go their own road and they certainly don't care. I don't know. Maybe I just have issues with regulators. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. But on the other side of that, I greatly disagreed with Facebook's argument against the German court. I did greatly agreed with the German court over their response. So for those of you that don't know, Facebook, rightfully so, got scolded by a German court. And that part's really not that important because, you know, they got scolded for their highly invasive privacy practices. The important part, however, was Facebook's response, which is just golden, that we need all that information in order to track, what was it?
Accounts tied to abusive behavior, terrorism, or child exploitation, or election interference.
Which is interesting because they do all of those things on their own. Well, not all of them, but they exploit children.
Oh, absolutely.
They pay kids $20-30 a month to get access to all their information. But when someone else tells them not to do it, they're like, no. It's just, oh.
Like, okay, that statement seemed about as sincere as when in the 2016 election, Hillary Clinton, during the debates, was like, 9/11. It's like, what? You're out of your fucking league here, dude. Get out of here with that.
Yeah, no. I mean, I know they're just like grasping at straws, but honestly, they can prevent terrorism without invading privacy.
Yeah.
But, I mean, for starters, I genuinely believe that terrorists do not use Facebook of all places.
Right.
Like, and maybe part of the reason is because Facebook is so invasive, it's not secure. Like, you know, but they just go use something else.
Yeah.
But I just you know what I guess what my big beef is, you know, the old I guess it's kind of like an old saying. It's real famous against politicians, but you know, it's like, think of the children. It reminds me of that. Like, we have to do this because think of the children.
Right.
It's like we're supposed to leave our children a better life with more freedom and more liberties, not take it away.
Yeah. Well, I agree. The thing is here, like, I actually do like the court's decision that Facebook is not allowed to gather data into a single place about users on other platforms that aren't Facebook, like Instagram and WhatsApp and such. I like that rule because basically because that lets Facebook acquire companies and not be able to capitalize on, you know, like steal your data. Like, let's say that you were an Oculus user, right? Before Facebook bought Oculus, and now they bought Oculus, and now they're collecting all this information about you that you didn't, opt into when you bought your headset. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that's a good precedent to set. That, like, if you're an Instagram user or a WhatsApp user, and then Facebook comes in and buys your stuff and like unilaterally decides everything, you know, you link your Instagram and your Facebook account. We know everything about you, everything you've ever liked on Instagram. I think that's a good thing that's not allowed anymore.
Oh yeah, and it's not like the court forbid them from actually doing that, but they have to, like, make it very clear, and the person has to agree to it. Yeah. Which is very important because, you know, for me, you know, I feel that in order to actually, you know, have a stable economy, like, governments can't get meddled too much because, as everyone knows, governments are just a pile of trash, and just about everything they do just turns into garbage.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but that's all right.
Yeah, okay, sure. you know, let's look at our current state of affairs in most of the West, and the government's continuously getting in the way of things. But that's neither here nor there. We're talking about Facebook. Facebook, in my opinion, you know, like, I'm okay if Facebook's going to gather everyone's data, but they should be honest and upfront in a very simplistic manner about it. Not in some, you know, hidden in some 500-page EULA or, you know, terms of service or whatever it is they hide it in. No, it should be in nice, clear, simple, whatever language to the person that they are trying to interact with. Like, it should be very, very upfront what they're doing. And they're not. They're not even remotely close about that. I mean, as we talked about, what was it, last week? Where they're purchasing information from minors.
Yeah.
And, you know, Apple and Google are now, you know, stripping them of things.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, because that's kind of wrong on a whole lot of levels.
Yeah. Well, the fact, too, that, like, you know, they have the like and share buttons, and when they're integrated on a website and you're signed into Facebook in that browser, they're getting like all kinds of information about you, like what you're doing on the page, how long you've been there. I mean, it's like they basically have their own analytics for third-party websites, and the pixel tracker too, which is like invisible. You don't even, like, if you go to a website, you don't even know it's there, but they're getting all kinds of information about you, what you're doing on a website.
Pixel tracker?
Yeah. What?
No, what is the pixel tracker?
You don't know about the pixel tracker? Dude, it's a 1-by-1 pixel that you integrate into your website, and then it can track like your URL and like any like data that is sent between the server. So it's like it inserts itself into the transaction. It's like a man in the middle kind of thing. And Facebook, it's like essentially having Google Analytics, except it's Facebook, and they can, like, that's how what do you call it? Amazon is able to like track what you've searched for and then mark it to you on Instagram or on Facebook. It's like,
that is so creepy,
dude. I
didn't know it had it. I mean, because you know, I haven't had a Facebook in like 4 or 5 years, maybe. I haven't had Facebook in a long time. Let's put it that way. I haven't had Facebook in a very long time.
That actually was one of the original tools that they had for tracking people online. Was the Pixel. Yeah.
You know, honestly, they probably just do it through every single type of integration now, just to make sure that they get everything.
Yeah, absolutely. They do.
Like, each one does the same thing. So, like, if you only integrate Facebook like or share, they get you that way. If you only integrate pixel tracking, they get you that way. Yeah. You know, they'll find a way to get you. But yeah, that's bad. Like, yeah. I honestly didn't realize that they did that. That's
it's worse than you thought. And when you
I don't know if it's worse. I don't know if it's worse than I thought, but
oh, dude,
it's
so bad.
I'm not surprised they did it. I just didn't know specifically what it was.
Yeah,
because it's called a pixel tracker. I was like, what the crap is that? I mean, they could have done it, you know, completely hidden in the background. It's just JavaScript, but whatever.
Right. Well, that's how Facebook can track you with JavaScript disabled. Like, that's how insidious this is. It's a pixel. It's an image that's being loaded from Facebook's servers. So they get all kinds of information about you that way.
Yeah, see, I'm lucky in the sense that I don't have a Facebook, so it really doesn't really matter to me. I'm just like blank. Now, I'm sure they still build a database because they'll just use my IP address and, you know, build it off that.
If you ever had a Facebook, they're still tracking you. Like that's how messed up it is.
They shouldn't be able to if the account's deleted.
They don't delete anything.
Well, supposedly they do actually delete your account.
I don't believe it.
Well, Lunduk tested that. Apparently, they do actually delete your account after like waiting for like 30 days or whatever. And if you sign in, it immediately reactivates and resets the clock. But
yeah,
you know, it's easy to delete it. But on the other hand, they can still build a database with your IP address. But you know, my IP has changed like twice since. I mean, I have a static IP. It's just, you know, I can change it. I can just request a change, which I have done. Actually, I did it for that reason.
Oh, yeah.
Just to make sure that, like, you know, my IP would like change. Now, you know, depending on how tight Google and Facebook are, and maybe Amazon as well, you could probably still find me, you know, just by cross-referencing. But I like to believe that Facebook and Google do not have that tight of a relationship.
No, I don't think they do, but
You never know.
they have
Just
a
because
fairly,
they publicly hate each other. It's like
Yeah.
politicians, man. I don't firmly believe that most politicians hate each other. I firmly believe that they go into the back after they're done, pissing on each other, laughing.
maybe.
Because, I firmly believe that. But you know how I feel. They're all trash. But anyway, with Facebook, this is horrible. Like, I can't believe this is allowed. But I am glad that the German court struck them down. But it's kind of like we talked about last week. They really didn't do anything.
No, they didn't slap them with a fine. They didn't tell them that they have to change. They suggested that these are the changes that they need to make to avoid a fine, which sucks.
Will never come. And you know why? Because they own German. They own Germans. Like, they own their politicians, just like most other companies own other countries. People can disagree with me, but honestly, is there any other reason? They own all the right people. You don't have to own everyone. You just have to own the right person.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, like,
you can call that tinfoil hat, but it's you can call it whatever you want. But,
I'm not going to say that, but you did.
I know I did, because it is tinfoil hat.
Well,
but at the same
in
time,
the comments
they
are going
do
to say
stuff
that too.
They do stuff all the time that is so bad and so heinous, in my opinion. Like, people are fine with it, but to me, it's no different than someone just breaking into your house and taking shit and walking out. Like, there's no difference.
Right, but the reason that they get away with this is because, like, there isn't outrage. Like, we're the only people that get outraged by it. Everybody else is okay with it. And so, like, governments don't have to act because people aren't pissed off.
Yeah, well, there you go. There's failure of government I was talking about earlier.
Well,
See,
it's also because people don't vote.
Well,
that's why government sucks, is because people don't vote.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a separate, unrelated issue, but
yeah,
it is an issue. But as far as this goes, like, it doesn't matter if people don't make it an issue. It's illegal.
No, I agree.
It shouldn't matter. The court shouldn't. Especially when it comes to judiciary bodies of governments, they are not supposed to care about public opinion.
Right.
Justice is blind, or that's how it goes.
Yeah.
They should just do whoever breaks the law, regardless.
Yeah.
Like, it can have mercy at certain times and all, but Facebook doesn't really do anything where, like, mercy would ever really come into play. For starters, It's not a person. It's a massive company that just does lots of really bad things.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, like, they need to be destroyed and, like, never exist ever again. I mean, that would be lovely.
I'm saying that.
I'm kind of saying that, but at the same time, I'm being rational too. My tinfoil hat's still on, but I'm also being rational.
Yeah.
Like people like Facebook. Okay, so fine, Facebook can exist, but Facebook needs to start following the law and the rules that everyone else has to abide by.
Yeah. I agree.
Like, that's all I ask. I'm not asking for Facebook to change its ways, because I don't use it, so it's not a problem to me. But I also don't like the fact that they don't obey anything. They just do whatever they want.
Yeah. See, the problem is, and we're going to talk about this a little bit in the next segment, in the next story, but I really don't like it when people say, I don't care because I don't use it, so it doesn't affect me. I don't think that's accurate.
Sure. I do understand that, but the fact of the matter is they have a right to develop and build their business how they want, and people have a right to use whatever they want and give up whatever information they want freely. Like, that's where the conflict comes in. That's why, like, that's why I kind of get weirded out. Like, I agree with the German regulators, but at the same time, I don't like them.
See, I don't know if, like, it should be legal to just give up, your privacy. Like, your privacy is a right, and I don't think you should just be able to, like, sign a piece of paper or click a I agree button, and then you waive your right to privacy. I don't think that that's how it should work, my friend.
No, I'm not saying that's how it should work. Because, as I said before, they need to explicitly state what they are going to do with it and what they are going to collect, which, by the way, no one does that.
No.
Well, maybe a few people do, but not Facebook and not Google and definitely not Amazon or any of the others, not Microsoft. Because when I'm talking, like, explicitly state, they need to state everything. And then you are like grandfathered in on that contract, and it can never change. And if they use that information for anything that's not within that boundary that you explicitly agreed to, then they should be punished for it. Because I'm being very specific here, like absolutely specific. Because that's part of the problem too, is that they just change the terms of service whenever they want to suit them. And that is another big problem.
Yeah.
Another massive problem that we have. Like we saw it with Unity. Unity didn't like a competitor, so they changed their terms of service.
Right.
That's not right. That should not be allowed at all.
No, I agree.
Honestly, terms of services, you should be bound to whatever version of terms of service you agreed to initially. And if you don't want to change or upgrade, then you should not be forced to change or upgrade. Now, that might mean that you might not get new features on Facebook. That might mean that you might lose some features on Facebook. But that's fine. Because, you agreed to it. Because, that would probably piss people off and make them leave Facebook. So it would end up being actually probably quite a nice thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
no, I mean,
I don't know. It's a tough topic with no real easy answer.
Right.
Because I do understand where you're coming from. But on the other hand, I don't want to stifle the creation of new business either.
But,
and,
business,
it's very easy. It's very easy to pass laws that kill, creativity and new business. I mean, look at Article 13. By the way, have you seen the new changes? We're probably going to end up talking about Article 13 here shortly.
No, I haven't seen them.
See,
the thing is, though,
for it are terrible.
The issue that I have is like, you have laws that are in place for a reason, the laws that you and I are talking about, right? Like laws that say you have to do X, Y, and Z with your terms of service. But other people might argue that having those laws prevent companies from building businesses that are able to change their terms of service. And it's like, I don't agree. Like, I think
you can't please everyone.
You can't please everyone. But the thing is, it's like, if you have the right to privacy, then is it worth having a business like Facebook allowed to exist? No, I don't think that it is. I think that like Facebook is a fundamental threat to civil liberties.
Oh, it is.
And
I agree.
And I don't think that we should be okay with the argument that like I don't like regulation because a company like Facebook wouldn't exist if regulation.
Well, I didn't say I didn't like regulation. My stance is that it tends to go too far.
Well,
because once you start giving someone power, no one ever wants to give it up. No one. No one.
I don't know.
It's just human nature. Like, you might find that one person that's okay with it, but look at the vast majority of most U.S. politicians. Like, ignore their party, because their party is completely and utterly irrelevant. Most of them could care less about what is actually good for the greater good of this country, in particular. Just speaking of the U.S. And, that's like, I don't know, it's just a worry. And it might be because if my political stances, I just worry about things going too far because, some things you can't take back.
But in a functioning society, in a functioning government, that you can. And that's why you have checks and balances like the judicial system and the executive.
We don't have that anymore.
Well, I think we still do, man. That's hyperbole.
It's been like eroded to a bit.
It has been eroded because, well, we're gonna get off topic.
They're getting way off topic now.
Yeah.
That's for like a great off topic, like after the thing there.
Yeah.
After the show. But yeah, I guess at least we both agree that something needs to be done about this garbage. I just don't know what. Because, honestly, passing regulations to fix the terms of service really doesn't fix Facebook. Because Facebook is still Facebook.
Facebook should just be dismantled. That's what I think.
It's amazing to me that they even make money.
Yeah.
Like, I genuinely don't understand how they make money. Because they lie. They lie on everything. Like, literally everything.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Zappa. They actually use Facebook ads at my day job. And
really?
Oh yes, and I have
the statistics are always wrong.
Oh, they are, and like there have been a couple times where I've had to like sign into the back end where like they're doing the ads, and it's like, oh sorry, we had every time I've done this like 3 or 4 times, it's like, oh yeah, our reporting was off on like you know, these dates, and so it's like half a fucking year and our reporting was off completely, and so here's like a $20 credit, boys. It's like, what? I can't believe how dishonest and just shitty this company is.
Yeah. Oh no, I was gonna say, you know, you remember Zappa, right? I mean, of course.
Yeah.
How could you forget the lovely
Zappa's the man.
I know, right? You know, he uses Facebook because, you know, he has to, because, you know, he has to get his message out there for his game. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And, you know, he had, you know his recent blog post where he was talking, not his most recent one, but the one where he was talking about his game and Pint. He was talking about Outwarp and Pint.
Yeah.
Because his most recent one is about where he bought a Unity game and then remade it, and it was hilarious, by the way. I was there the whole time while he was struggling to use Unity. It was glorious. Anyway, like, it's not that he doesn't know how to use Unity, but he used the Linux version of Unity, and it just gave him problems to no end. Anyway, so he put it out there. It has like 20 shares or something, and Facebook reported that he has no shares. So they recommended some ads, and he was like, I could see that it has 20 shares. In fact, if he goes to another panel, it shows that he has shares and how much impressions it got, but it recommended to him. So I don't know if that was like a delayed thing, like it delayed it and it hadn't like computed the, you know, the information, but it's like usually that stuff's done at least like what, once an hour, maybe even real time.
Yeah.
You know, it's done at a consistent time. And it's like, really? Like, wow.
Yeah.
Like, I was just...
What's scary to me about that is that, like, you know...
Because it's a lie.
Well, it's a lie, but the fact is they're teaching computers how to lie. Like, that's the scary part to me.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I don't know.
Like, yeah, this needs to be wrong. Now, it could just be a technical glitch, too. Like, it could just be that, you know...
Everyone at Facebook sucks at their job.
Well, that, too. But I was going to say, it's also entirely possible that Facebook just doesn't have, like, it hasn't gotten into the database yet. So when it sent out the email or queued the email to be sent out, none of the information was there yet. Now, that is entirely possible. I would say it's very unlikely, but it is possible. Because why would you do that? You know, like, come on.
Right.
But, you know, I'm just playing the devil's advocate there, you know.
Right.
So I don't know. But it is total, like, trash. Like, Facebook, I do agree. Like, I would love to see Facebook disappear, because I just don't feel Facebook provides any meaning, really. Like, you know.
Yeah. No, it provides nothing.
Yeah, I can't think of anything it really provides. Like,
it provides.
Like, well, it lets you keep in touch with your family. It's like, you never heard of a phone?
Yeah. Well, it's like it provides a platform for family members to like argue with each other. You know.
You do that with a phone.
I know, but this is arguing in public.
Oh yeah, everybody loves that.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think about this whole story? Do you think the German regulators, you know, did their job, or do you think they didn't go far enough? Let us know what you think in the show notes, forum.heavyelement.io, or give us an email, show@offtopical.net. What you just heard is a highlight from the Off Topical podcast. Listen to the full episode for free over at offtopical.net.